Alright, this is an overview of my 24-inch drum sander. It's approximately, the table is actually 24 by 24, the drum is 24 inches wide, approximately 3.5 inches, about 3.5 inches. I think that's a 4-inch though. No, 3.5. Use PVC, so it's 3.25. Okay. The drum was made with, I believe this is a 5/8 drill rod. 5/8 drill rod, approximately 29 inches, 30 inches long. The actual drum was made with MDF cylinders that I just cut into little chunks and then put it on and glued it onto roughed up the drill rod and glued it on there. Sanded it down so it'll fit. This is actually a PVC plumbing tube that fit around it, and then I sanded that smooth. Everything was built first, and then after that I used the table itself to with a board, a flat board underneath, to flatten and even out the drum. And the drum has Velcro on it, and then the paper is just Velcroed onto the. I got Velcro paper and long strips and made my own. Just cut it at an angle and then Velcroed it on there. They're mounted onto pillow block bearings. These are the two pillow block bearings, 5/8 inside diameter. You just get them online. Bolted on with these bolts straight through to the bottom. And to the other side. And the other side's the same. Pillow block bearing to the frame, and then bolts straight through to hold it nice and sturdy. And then I'll move on to the pulleys. So this is a 3.25 inch pulley, 5/8 center, V pulley. Just got that online in the belt as well. Okay, and then the bottom pulley. And for the bottom pulley, that is 5.25 inch V pulley with a set screw, and the shaft itself is, the shaft on my motor is 1/2 inch. And I just had, the shaft was longer, so I just added this on. And I just added on a little sander here. I like the adjustable V-belt, so that way I can just build it to whatever height it is. And then after that, just change out the links to make it nice and taut. The motor is mounted. I made a little motor mount. The motor mount itself is just 1/8 inch steel. I cut and welded. Put some 1/4 by 20 bolts through it, and it's on another rising on screw. That way I can adjust the height and the pitch. That's mounted. I couldn't find some kind of attachment to make, so I just had a 1/2 inch collar with a set screw in there. I welded a fender washer on it, and then attached it through a piece of MDF that was rough cut to a 7-inch diameter, and then attached. When turning it on, I usually use it kind of like a lathe and flatten flattened the face of it and added Velcro, and that's just Velcroed on there. Works good. The motor itself is just a regular. It was just a scrap motor out of an AC blower furnace unit. My brothers, they work in AC, so they have a lot of these laying around. But I'm sure if you just come across some AC guy, they always have some spare motors if you just ask them. And it's a 3, I guess. It's got high, medium, low, and low. I just connected it straight to one of them. I did the math. I don't remember how I did it, but one of them with the diameter of this 5 1/4, and then the 3 1/4 above. At the speed, I took the percentage, and it came out to around roughly 1700 RPM, I think. For the pulley system, it's to make the table go up and down. This is just, I believe, 5/8 drill rod. 5/8 all thread. So all four corners get it placed in there, and these are attached with. All right, and the drill rods, they go up into here. This is just a fender washer. A fender washer. I drilled some holes in on the side just to attach it to the bottom of the frame itself. So that's how it looks right there, and that's just 2 nuts that I jammed together to keep it. So the rod itself spins freely inside, but there's another nut underneath. This one right here, this fender washer, has a nut that's inside, that's recessed inside and welded to the fender washer itself. So when I spin this, the whole rod spins, which turns the sprocket. There's a sprocket right here. So this sprocket right here is also jammed between 2 nuts, top and bottom. The spacing on this is I don't think super critical, but you want kind of the same height. If I would have done it over, I would have put it a little closer somehow to one of the edges. That way there wouldn't be too much flex in it. It's a 5/8 all thread, but still there's a little bit of flex in it when you try to turn it. So when I turn it, turning this one side engages all 4 sides, which elevates the table. The table is resting on those 2 supports, which are connected to both sides, which is connected to the table itself. And the table is pretty simple to make. And same goes down here. It's just 2 nuts jammed together with the washer, so the wood wouldn't wear. Okay, so this whole mechanism right here is what I came up with how to advance a piece of wood. I didn't want. Ideally, you'd have a big, gigantic belt on here, and it would automatically advance it, but this works pretty good too. So when you put the wood in, these 2 rollers press down on it, and they're attached together with this chain and sprocket, so it advances the piece of wood. So that's how it operates right there. So you adjust the height with this, and then you advance the piece of wood, whatever you're sanding with that. I built this whole sander for pretty much only one purpose, was to thicken this guitar top sides and backs. This is actually a piece of the cutoff that I used for the back. Some Pulleys. So give you a better detailed shot of what's going on over here. So overview, we got 2 drill rods, one on this side, one on that side. They're connected with sprockets. These are just sprockets, regular bicycle chain sprockets, the same ones down here attached, but this one has a collar, a stock collar with set screws. So they're set on just on this side alone. The other side's got ball bearings just like this through that piece of wood. And I'll explain the piece of wood later, but this is just sits right behind this frame right here, and there's a gap here. So this gap right here allows for this piece of wood right here that holds the bearings, that holds the drill rod, and allow it to turn. This right here was a little tricky to get right. I made it so it's not dead in place, but it can go up and down, it can rise up and down. The reason being is to get this roller just maybe about 2 millimeters below the actual drum itself, that will engage and touch the piece of wood. It'll engage and touch the piece of wood before the roller hits it. That way it gives it enough tension, pressure, downward pressure. So the weight of the roller itself, along with, this is on springs, I'll get you a shot of that, but this is just like an L bracket. So this is like an L bracket right here. Kind of a, I don't know what you'd call it, but that's what it's rising on. And inside here, drilled a hole with a wide, what kind of screws? This is like a kind of a flat hex bolt that's probably 3.5 inches long. It's just tapped into this piece of wood itself, and the springs just help brings it down. So that's how it works there. So this pushes down a little bit more along with the weight of everything itself, helps push down and engage on the piece of wood. So this is a shot of it in action. Adjust this just so it's barely biting into it, and it just advances the piece of wood. And it works fairly good, because if I had the money I would just purchase a drum sander, but I don't. So with all the parts here, it was easy to find, but actually coming up and thinking of how to solve all these little problems that you run into with, say, building the drum and how do I get sandpaper on and how do I get to run smoothly. There was a lot of trial and error, but all in all, works good. Alright, thanks for watching.